Ange, how are you? The whole of the Commonwealth has been paying tribute to the passing of Her Majesty the Queen. I just wonder how you reflect personally yourself on that, and whether we'd see a show of respect or tribute tomorrow in terms of what UEFA are thinking about in terms of a minute's silence.
Look, I've been very fortunate in that in my role I've travelled the world, and the one thing I've learned is to respect everyone's culture, not to judge. And not to...
Would you please speak closer to the mic, I'm afraid.
Okay, no worries. So yeah, as I said, I've travelled around the world. I've learned to respect people's cultures and abide by whatever obligations I have personally, whatever the club has, and that's what we'll be doing tomorrow.
Ange, there's so much emotion around this match as well, with what's happening not so far from here. Shakhtar having to play at a neutral venue. Your fans will be there. I think there will be exiled Ukrainians here and Polish nationals. This could be a real show of strength and solidarity, as well as a show of football. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that the context of the question, but ultimately it's a Champions League football match, and our responsibility, and every club's responsibility, is to represent ourselves and the people we represent in the best possible manner, and make sure we're prepared for what's going to be hopefully a really good football match.
Hi, Ange. You've mostly used Callum McGregor as the single pivot in the midfield, but occasionally he's went to be more of an advanced midfielder. Oliver Abelgard, although a different type of player to Callum, has positioned very much similar to how Callum plays. Could you maybe elaborate on what you look for in whoever plays in that deep role, and if there's requirements, if they change from domestically to European?
In terms of the demands of the role, no, nothing really changes, whether that's domestic or Europe, in terms of, what we need from that position. But as I've said before, we have different types of players who play those positions, and they have different qualities, and just naturally, they bring those to the game. So Callum's been in there, and Moyes played there a fair bit recently. Obviously, we brought Oliver in, but he's not at sort of the levels of fitness we need to sort of put him in. But when he does, he'll bring his own qualities. But in terms of the structure of around that role, nothing really changes. Like I said, it's a bit like our wingers. They all play the same position, but they're all different types of wingers. So what you hopefully try and create is, a system where, we can have a pretty rigid structure, but with changes in personnel, it changes the dynamic depending on, what we need for that game or during the game if we need to change.
And reflecting back in the game from last week now, a few days on, obviously not the result that you were looking for, but how much encouragement does it give you, particularly in the first half performance, that you can impose your game on any team in the Champions League, given what you did to Real Madrid in that first half at Celtic Park last week?
Yeah, look, as I said after the game, I was a bit sort of frustrated, maybe a bit disappointed, because it's not just about playing our football for a certain amount of time, and I don't see any reason why we couldn't have done that for longer. Yes, in the context again of who we were playing against, I understand that you're playing against one of the best teams in the world at the moment, maybe the best, and for us to be able to match them by playing our football, yes, was encouraging. But, I didn't see any reason why that couldn't continue beyond the time it did. I think looking back at it, just the disappointing thing for me was that, after we conceded again very quickly, and there was no need to. We just needed to hang in the game. And if we hung in the game, we were always a chance to create again. And, just because you concede to them, they're an unbelievable team. We should have just sort of got back to it and kept playing our football. And, in the end, you lose 3-0. And as encouraging as it was, like I said, for me, I think we could have been more competitive for longer in that game. But it's, that's the levels we're at. We want to compete at this level. That's what you got to do. And I think when you're playing at this level, 60 minutes is never going to be enough. You've got to make sure that you see the game out and sort of be resilient when you need to.
Can I just ask you, first of all, about any fitness news, and also your opposite number has stressed how, he seems quite happy not to have the ball for long spells in the game, and, they're obviously effective on the break. Leipzig and league games as well. Do you expect this to be a bit of a different kind of type of European game, away game, where you're maybe the impetus is on you to attack, and you probably be more clinical if they're going to sit in?
In terms of fitness, Carl Starfelt misses out, so he'll be out for a couple of weeks, and James McCarthy wasn't well today, so he didn't travel. Everyone else is okay. And in terms of the game, look, it's every game. It's a Champions League game. We know it's going to be tough. Every opposition will give us different challenges, and whatever it is out there tomorrow, we've got to be ready to face it.
And as he was just saying, that the Shakhtar manager said that they'll be quite happy to let you have the ball. Do you think that can play into your hands at all? And after the Real Madrid game, you said you were determined to get this squad, this team, up to the level required to win in the Champions League. Are you confident going into this game 7 days on you can win in the Champions League tomorrow night?
In terms of, like I said before, in terms of what the challenges are tomorrow, whatever their coach says, whatever I say, we'll see how a game unfolds. We'll be ready for whatever happens. And in terms of confidence, my confidence is the same as it was last week. It's 7 days on, so we've got to go out there tomorrow, try and play our football, and win at a level that we know is always going to be challenging.